All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the B Team. We got Mikey, we got Muller. We're here. We're going to wrap up NFL week number 13. You know, we had the Bears take over the NFC. We had the Rams just fall apart in Carolina. The Jets are on a 3-game win streak. Dallas is coming back. The Lions, are they on their way out? The Chiefs, are they on their way out? The Colts, are they on their way out? So much parity occurring in the NFL right now. I mean, it's incredible. And I know Steelers fans are going to love to hear this. It is time that we have the annual conversation about Mike Tomlin. That is going to happen towards the end of the show today. So stay tuned for that. While I have everyone's attention, please go hit that subscribe button. Let's get this thing up to 500. I think we're at 370 right now. We've been trending upwards. We've been trending upwards on Instagram. We're rolling right now. If we hit 500 by Christmas, we are going to have a very cool autographed memorabilia being. It's going to be a giveaway. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. It's going to be a giveaway. And yeah, so you're going to want to do that. So get people to subscribe. You subscribe if you're listening. And yeah. All right, Mike, you ready to go?
And shout out to the people who are new and that are engaging with our stuff on Instagram. Shout out to you guys as well.
Yeah, welcome to the B Team. Mike, I'm gonna ask you to do something real quick before we even get going here, because I always forget to do this until after the show. Yep, there we go. Just try and stay in the middle. You know,
nowhere to do it. I'm like, my charger's so small. I'm like, I'm just gonna try my best. I knew where it was coming. I'm like, my best.
It's all good. It's all good.
Laptop. We tried the laptop. Does not work. It is brand new. I don't understand. So I'm gonna keep in mind of this today, all day.
Yeah, so you just gotta keep you in the middle. That's all we gotta do. All right, let's get into this. Do you want to start with let's get into the Packers and Lions game to start off. I thought, all in all, I thought Thanksgiving, it was awesome. I mean, rarely do we have 3 games where it's just really good football. You know, from top to bottom, you're engaged in all the games. I know the Cincinnati game kind of got out of hand towards the end, but the Packers-Lions game was awesome. Jordan Love was on fire. Detroit was trying the hardest to get back into it. Then you had the Cowboys and the Chiefs game, which was incredible up until the last seconds of the game. Then I would say the Baltimore and Cincinnati game. But it was just a very fun day of football, very enjoyable, and then Thanksgiving on top of it made it even better. But Packers and Lions. So Packers take down the Lions, and they basically give the Bears the 1 seed for the NFC with that victory. I think the Bears are going to run away with this division, but let's stay in the game. The Lions are just so injury-stricken. Like, it's really tough for me to pinpoint where their season's going wrong on the field besides injuries, because I think they're playing good football. The defense, if they were healthy, would be good. Not great, good. If the offense was fully healthy, they're going to be missing Amon-Ra St. Brown this week against the Cowboys, probably. I think the offense is top 5 in the league. But they're injured. They're not top 5. They're not a good defense right now. And now they're having to play for their season against a team who's top 15, top 12 defense, number 1 offense. I just don't see this going well for them. And then down the stretch, I'm worried that we're going to get to a point where the Lions are just not going to be in this playoff picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I think injuries have really struck them. And I agree. I still think they're playing very good football. I mean, when you lose Amon-Ra on the first pass attempt to him, his first target, and he's out for the game, I mean, you got to change up everything. That's someone who, you run your offense through him. And when you let a guy like that get injured, when that happens, then listen, we got to make a quick adjustment. We got to get the run game going. We got to target someone else. We got to get Jameson Williams involved. We got to let him loose. It was, you know what though, it was tough for them just at the start because Micah Parsons, I mean, I'll tell you what, he had a hell of a game. I think that offensive line was really getting punched in the mouth by Green Bay. Granted, you watch the end of the game, they actually had a chance to tie it up. They had a chance to win the game almost. Actually, no, tie it. But, The Green Bay Packers were 3 for 3 on fourth downs. They attributed it to each one every time, especially that last one, probably one of the biggest moment of the game. You got to finish it. And, I give credit to Matt LaFleur to keep those guys aggressive in that scenario, because you give the ball back to Jared Goff and, Jahmyr Gibbs, and it's down to the wire, Goff is going to do well. You just can't let that happen. And the fact that they went for it on fourth and they got it. And listen, that was a great catch by, I think it was Wicks. Strong hands. That could have easily been batted away. Great play by him and great game by him too. But it's tough in Detroit right now because they just lost Kirby Joseph. I think he's out for the year. They're questioning Aiden Hutchinson's hustle, which is so stupid. But Detroit's going to pick whatever they want. They're going to nitpick everything. It's funny because you just said week 13. That's where we're at right now at this point in time, and there are still 5 games to be played. The division is still anybody's for any of these divisions, maybe besides the AFC East, or not even the AFC East, but they're all still up for grabs. Like, anything can happen within these 5 games. The Jets can win 5 straight. God knows what happens. Go 8-9. Come on now. Like, there are still a lot of parameters. There's still a lot of moving parts. I think the Dallas game is going to be, that. I've been saying it we've been saying it for the last 3 weeks. Like, this is an important game for them. This is a win. They got to get a win here. They got to get a win here. Like, this is their biggest one yet, in my opinion. They need a win now. They have to, and they're favored by 3. Amon-Ra does have a chance. Amon-Ra, he's a strong guy. I think he can recover quickly, but without him, I still can't count them out. And that's nothing on the Cowboys. That's just what I believe and what I think of the Lions. But yeah, got to give credit to the Packers defense. They needed a game where they could come out, division rival, and just shut them down. And listen, they almost came back, but again, it's a high-powered offense. So tough game, but very good game as well.
Yeah, and what you were saying about, the Amon-Ra, maybe he's back, maybe he's not. He did not play today. Terry Arnold did not play today in practice. Without those guys, I just don't see a way for Detroit to win this one, which puts them in a really, really tough spot where it's almost win the division or bust down the rest of the schedule, because Dallas is going to have the head-to-head on them. You got to think that both those teams are playing for a 7, maybe a 6 seed, depending on how things fall. This game's almost a Super Bowl for Detroit. It's almost a Super Bowl. It's a playoff game for Dallas. It's a Super Bowl for Detroit. If you lose this one, I think your season's done. 7-6. Green Bay looks like they're on fire. Chicago Bears, they're looking like they might be the best team in the NFL right now, sitting on top of the NFC. It's another year where that division's so strong, and the smallest slip up really, really puts you in a bad spot. And unfortunately, I think this is Detroit's year to have that bad slip up. They had a lot of fourth downs that they went for that they didn't get. They had fourth downs where they had serious, bad drops. The one by Jama was just bad, and it's tough in Detroit right now. It is. It is. I do feel for them, but I hope that they absolutely collapse and Dallas gets in. I can't cheer for Detroit. I was cheering for Detroit last year, but this week I hope we beat you by 50.
And that's the thing too. Last thing on Detroit, it's like, yes, I'm a Jets fan, but they've been through so much turmoil over the years, and we've seen them obviously last year, 2 years ago. They're an elite football team, and seeing them, kind of like the Birds in the same way, literally Super Bowl champions last year, now in absolute turmoil as well, where they're calling for their OC's head. Jalen Hurts is getting a lot of scrutiny. It's seeing that's what's so intriguing about the NFL is every single year it's different. It's so hard to run it back to back, be elite every single year. It's so small in chance and probability, but you'll have those teams like the Patriots, the Chiefs. I can't think of a team that's been good and has reached that final stage every time. You hate to see elite teams like that fall in a way. Sometimes you'd like to see it, but if you were Giants fan, Cowboys fan, Packers, Bears fan for Detroit, it's they're there. They can compete, but there's just so many factors. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, same thing. You lose Mike Evans. Godwin just can't stay on the field anymore. Bucky is out for a little bit. it's like, what if? What if? Like, if we had these guys, if this guy was healthy, you hate to throw those scenarios out, and like that's kind of where Detroit is right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And speaking of odd man out in the North, there's a specific team that I want to talk about now who had a fantastic Black Friday, possibly making a Philadelphia team the odd man out in the NFC East this coming week. The Chicago Bears, I mean, they went from zeros to heroes in this division. We're talking about a division where it's the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings. Every year, it's one of those three lately. The Bears have been, the basement. They've been the worst team. They've been the worst team in the league some years. And now they're at the top of the NFC. But I want to ask you this, Mike, because before we get into the Eagles, I want to talk about this game, Bears-Eagles. Do you believe in the Bears to get the job done down the stretch here? Because I'm going to read you their schedule. We got the Packers on the road coming up. We got the Browns at home, the Packers at home again. We go on the road, play the 49ers, who are going to be playing for playoff spots. And then you're at home against the Detroit Lions in Week 18. That's a very tough schedule, and people are going to look at that Browns game and say it's an easy game. Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback now. I'm not taking that as an easy game anymore. I'm looking at that as that's a possible spoiler game at 1 o'clock on Fox in Chicago. I could see a spoiler game there, and I see a way where this team that we all are, we've come around this team because, like you said, they've been in so much turmoil. They've been so shit. They get Caleb Williams. People are like, I don't know if he's the guy. It turns out he is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I still have this thing in the back of my head that's saying this is the Chicago Bears, right? And if it was the New York Jets, I'd have the same idea in the back of my head. If it was Washington, I'd have the same idea. Look what happened last year to Washington. I told everyone it doesn't matter how far they go, they will fail. They failed. Chicago, if they get in, they're not going to win a Super Bowl this year. We all have to understand that. But I don't think they even make the playoffs. There's a part of me that's looking at this team, and with this schedule, I see 4 losses coming on the stretch, and I see them either getting a 7th seed or just narrowly in Week 18 missing out to the Detroit Lions.
This is the thing with the Bears now. It's when you look at them on paper, nothing really jumps off the bat. Yes, they got DJ Moore, okay, average receiver. Now it's kind of where he's at now. I don't want to hear anything else about, he's an elite, but blah, blah, blah. He's an average receiver. Roma Dunze has his days. Like, we're waiting for his breakout year. Looked like it was happening. Now it's just kind of went down the drain. I still think he's the guy. Colson Loveland, number 2 overall pick from that they drafted. They barely use him. They use Cole Kmet, who's been a Bear since Mike Ditka era. And Kyle Monungai,
Luther Burden,
another guy. But what matters the most is that they believe. And I think not only do they believe, Ben Johnson believes, the fans believe. Listen, they have covered or have won every single game the last 5 weeks, I believe. We have been talking to Lucas about it for a while. What I've seen, I'll get into that game, but the team overall, there are a lot of pieces. And if anything happens, you want to talk about injuries with the Bears, it's not really going to make a massive effect. Obviously, if it's Caleb or someone, yeah, sure. But they have a lot of people that can fill the role, next man up mentality, and go out there and compete. The defense is getting healthier, actually. I just think what Ben Johnson has done has been phenomenal, and he has these guys believing. He has a Chicago fan base believing. Listen, they're 8-3. They just went into Philadelphia and beat the Super Bowl defending champions. That's a hard place to play. Everyone knows that. I got to believe in them. If they can at least win 3 games out of those next 5, they will either, number 1, win the division, number 2, guaranteed a playoff spot, and they will go from there. I think they do make the playoffs. I do think they split with the Green Bay Packers once. I do think they beat Cleveland. I do think they actually beat the Niners in San Francisco. Detroit, we'll see. Anything can happen. They got to take it week by week. Next team up. They don't even project the numbers. Don't even calculate the probabilities, whatever. Go out there, whoever's in front of you, beat them, out-scheme them. Ben Johnson's the guy that can do that. Caleb's got the confidence now. Kyle Monungai has been fantastic, and he was fantastic in that game against Philly, and so was DeAndre Swift. I love what I see from them, and I can't knock them. I can't sit here and be like, That team is not going to make it. Ben Johnson ripped his shirt off, bro, in the locker room. How can I not believe this team?
And I understand all of this that you're saying. Like I want them to, I want all of this to work out for them. But when I look at who they've played, Mike, they lost week 1 to the Vikings. They lost week 2. They got curb stomped week 2 by the Lions. So they're already down 0-2 in the division. So if they mess up the end of this schedule, they're fucked. Then they played the Cowboys when they had no defense and were missing CeeDee Lamb. They played the Raiders, beat them by 1. Raiders are absolute dog trash, horrible. Commanders, dog trash. Saints, dog trash. And then they lost to the Ravens, crazy. Beat the Bengals without Joe Burrow in a shootout, 47-42. Beat the Giants. I believe Jameis Winston played that game. Could be wrong. Maybe it was Russ. And then Vikings they beat, good, 19-17, not great, but good. And then you beat the Eagles when they were having like the worst 3 weeks of their lives. So when I still have my questions and my doubts when it comes to the Chicago Bears team. I'm not sure where I stand on them still. This game against the Packers on Sunday is going to tell me a lot about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, I said this earlier, before the season even started, like I actually believe the Bears to make the playoffs. I did not think they would win the division or would come close even sniffing the division, which is wild to say. But, you talk about all these teams that they've beaten, and they're bad and whatnot. And we could say the same for the Patriots too. They've beaten up on bad teams. They could be frauds, the Chicago could be frauds, but they are taking care of business, and like they take care of business against the games that they should win. New Orleans, the Vikings, they lost week 1, the first 3 weeks of the season, they're really trying to figure out. For Ben Johnson's first year, where the system has kind of taken its place and the concepts he's thrown in, the schemes, like it's just hard to defend. I mean, at that point, it's another, like you're really going against Ben Johnson at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's a chess match between the 2 head coaches, 2 offensive coordinators, whatever, offensive coordinator, DC, you know what I mean? But the way he's scheming up this offense, like I just feel like he has such a great feel for it. And he's using the right schemes at the right time. And he's just planning every single move. He's just a move ahead every time. And like, sometimes that's tough to beat, if you have that much trust in your players and they are believing, then it's all hard at the end of the day. And I feel like that's exactly what they have right now. So I got to ride with them, man. Everyone loves an underdog story. And I love it. Like I'm following through with it, like, are they the best team in the NFC? I don't think so. I still think the Rams are, in my opinion. Yes, they lost to Carolina, but you got to give them credit. They're fucking coming out and they're beating teams like they should. And it's not like they're making a lot of mistakes either. Not really turning the ball over as much. But I feel like every single week you're seeing the same thing. You're seeing a good run game. You're seeing Caleb sling it. You're seeing the O-line doing just enough so Caleb can have enough time in the pocket. And that's what you're not seeing, a lot of up and downs. You're not seeing the Atlanta Falcons. You're not seeing the Carolina Panthers. It's been very consistent, and that's a very good sign.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And if we want to get into the Eagles game here, because that's a team that does not believe.
Dominated. Chicago dominated up front. They dominated with the run game. They dominated on defense. Philly, they're going through it. It was literally a beating on a dead horse. It's just like Kevin Patullo, Nazi. You could call him whatever you want. Jalen Hurts, not that good right now. And hey,
are we allowed to say that?
How many times have we seen Jalen Hurts go through this during the regular season? And let's blame the OC because we love Jalen. He's the guy. He won us the Super Bowl. But like, we saw this. We have seen this multiple times. We saw this 2 years ago when they lost the Jets and Zach Wilson. We're seeing it this year. We saw it last year. Like, we got to wake up, Philly. We got to stop blaming everyone and putting Hurts on a pedestal where like he's invincible. Like it's the NFL. It's a business, bro. Nobody's an untouchable at times. I'm throwing that up. But like he didn't play. He played poorly. Let's be honest. He didn't make a lot of good throws. AJ Brown pretty much bailed him out on a go ball. The one goal ball he throws and actually, usually hits. Like, dude, he's not playing well either, and we need to accept that. Blame Kevin Patullo all you want. The offensive line's not playing well. They're missing their guys. Saquon, he's having his struggles right now, hand in hand with the O-line, hand in hand with, the defense that they're putting out and their schemes because of Jalen Hurts and what they believe that he can and cannot do. Like, there's a lot of – it's just not really – nothing's really working right now for them. And listen, the defense got torched.
That's what I was just about to say, Mike. They got run through. And
now that's a difference because they are not believing right now. And it is toxic. It is contagious. I just think the locker room right now is kind of spiraling out of control. A.J. Brown, everything that happened at the start with him, it's just been a whole domino effect. And listen, we'll see in the playoffs if they can overcome it. But we've been down this road before. We have. I don't know with Philly, man. I think there's going to be a lot of change there. I really do.
I agree with you, and I think this game I believe they play Monday night this week so they're at LA playing against the Chargers. Justin Herbert sounds like he's going to play. He's having a procedure done on his hand, his left hand, non-throwing hand. In the way that he doesn't play, let's think about him not playing. This would be one of the funniest losses in recent history for Philadelphia if Trey Lance came in and absolutely torched this defense and won the game, bringing the Cowboys even closer to the Philadelphia Eagles in the division. Done. That team is tanking. They might lose to the Raiders the following week. It's like this Philadelphia team, I can never wrap my head around them because they're very similar to the Philadelphia 76ers, right? We're gonna assemble a very good team. Right, we believe in this starting five. We believe in this starting core. 5 guys here, 5 guys there. But then we're going to put them out there. And you all, pointing to the fans, you guys are going to be booing them. You're going to hate them. Every game's going to be close. We might win some. We might lose some. We're going to win more than we lose, though. We're going to get into the playoffs and make you believe that we can win a Super Bowl. But in reality, our best players are pissed off. Joel Embiid's pissed off at someone. We're going to have a key guy get injured. And it's going to completely derail our season. But we're going to get in the playoffs and give you guys hope. That's what this team is. And Philadelphia fans are going to hate hearing that their beloved Philadelphia Eagles are the same team as the Philadelphia 76ers.
Is Jalen Hurts another version of a healthy Joel Embiid? Is that a crazy thing to say?
I think Jalen Hurts is an injured Joel Embiid. Let's not put Jalen Hurts on this pedestal like he's, able to get up off the couch and to win any game against anyone in the league. Joel Embiid can get up off the couch, eat a cheeseburger on the side while getting a calf massage, go out there with ice on his knees and drop 30 on your face. Whether you're Nikola Jokic or if you're fucking Jabari Parker playing over in Israel right now. Like, he'll put 30 on you, 40, 50 on you, and he's going to get up off the couch, dominate.
He only does it every 4 games, though, right?
Well, he's only allowed to go in the game every 4 games.
Yeah.
So, but like Jalen Hurts, you're allowed to play every game, and you're putting up injured Embiid numbers. You when I look at your stat line, I actually believe that you were doing like time management out there. Your body was being managed. But then I realized McKee didn't go in, which, shout out to McKee. I hope he ends up on New Orleans Saints. But Jalen Hurts he's holding this team back. And people are always going to say, oh, you're a homer, you're a Dallas fan. That's why you're saying this. If Dak Prescott was on the Philadelphia Eagles, they would have already won 3 Super Bowls in a row. I firmly believe that. Because look what he's doing now that he's got 2 elite wide receivers, an elite tight end, a running back who turns out to be elite this year, right? Imagine if Dak Prescott and his offense, his offensive ability, his mindset was with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, what's his name from Nazareth, Jahan Dotson, Mechie, Goddard.
Mechie's not there anymore.
That O-line, he's gone.
He's a Jet, yes.
Well, oh, yeah, that's right. Regardless, he would have made him look like an all-star. Look what he's doing with Flournoy right now. Just give him Saquon in that O-line. Give him that defense.
Jets have scored more points than the Birds in the last 2 weeks.
Give him Howie Roseman. We're going to get to that, Mike. Don't you worry. Dak Prescott would have won double the amount of games that Jalen Hurts has won. Jalen Hurts he's only lost, 6-7 games? So, I do feel bad for Philadelphia Eagles fans. You don't deserve this. Your team is great. You guys don't deserve that. You guys should be winning Super Bowls. But you have Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni as your top two guys leading this franchise forward. It's never going to happen. I'm sorry. It's never going to happen. You're going to win a lot of games. You're never going to win a big one. You won one. You won two. You're not winning three. It's over for you guys. I would actually restart the whole franchise. I would clean house. A.J. Brown, gone. Saquon, gone. Clearly washed. I would get rid of Jalen Hurts. I would actually restructure the O-line this offseason and probably get rid of Guantanamo Bay and Cooper DeJean. I would get rid of all those guys if I was you. That's the only way forward. Mike, any thoughts on that?
No, that's a perfect way to end the Philly banter. You cherry on top with Philly. We talk about them every week. You did great. I'm proud of you. I would say on the one in Dallas.
Yes, I would too. But I need to say this. What's awesome, because they're going to cut off right here and go and start texting us. They're going to stop watching at that point. It's hilarious how they think I'm being serious when I say all that. Right? There's a Philly fan named Greg out there, let's say, just for hypotheticals, who's going to think I'm being serious when I say clean house, and he's probably going to text us. And that's unfortunate for Greg. He should have said hi to me at the tree farm.
At least you guys got your trees, That's all that matters.
He should have said hi. He should have said hi. It's a joke. He stood right behind me. I spun around seeing how long the line was, waiting there. I was in front of him. And this man did not give me a tap on the shoulder, didn't say, yo, Muller, just stood there behind me. Because I didn't turn back around after that. He just stood there. Who else, father-son duo, is going to the tree farm with Cowboys hats on?
Listen, I'm not a part of this, okay? That is on you guys, all right? I know
no, but you were the intermediary because he won't text me.
I gave him your number, okay?
That's the funniest part, though, Mike. That's the funniest part. He has my number, and he's texting you to text me.
I don't want to be the middleman of this.
I'm not reaching out.
Tree farm situation that I was not a part of.
I'm not reaching out to him. He's going to have to reach out to me. I will keep texting you to text him. I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it either. I'm tired of it. Why am I the middleman? I think, what's funny? I think I've sent your contact or his contact to both of you at least 3 times. I feel like I've done this numerous times.
No, Mike, I would reach out to him if I was the one that saw him and then stood behind him for the entire wait to get your tree shaken, right? But I wasn't. I was the one in front of him. He needs to reach out to me. I'm not reaching out. I'll reach out to him after they lose to Trey Lance this weekend.
This is unbelievable.
Let's move on here. So the Cowboys curb stomped the Chiefs this week on Thanksgiving. I was nervous for this game going in, and I think rightfully so. I don't think anyone can really hate on me for being very nervous going into this one. We're playing against the GOAT, Pat Mahomes, and this Chiefs team that they always seem to have a trick up their sleeve. They always seem to find a way into the playoffs, and they just don't lose. Dak Prescott dropped his humongous fatherly hands upon this Cowboys team and absolutely took us to glory this weekend. It was so fun to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I want to get your thoughts on this, though.
Oh, yeah, just another great game. I mean, I thought your D-line was excellent. Again, I think Quentin Williams just fits so well in that defense. It's obvious, it's one of those situations where I said this before, the numbers aren't going to show, but it's going to be, the setup. It's going to be, hey, he's going to blow up the guard, pretty much push the guard into the running back, and now he's got to make a different decision and he's going to get stopped. The D-line has made such an impact on how the Cowboys have been playing, and it's giving the offense opportunities. And Dak and I think the offense are overtaking them. They're executing. George Pickens executing, Dak executing, CD executing. It's another team that's just clicking. And I just think the way they schemed out, the Chiefs essentially, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Just another great game. I watched the second half of it, but Dak looked accurate again. And I'll tell you what, I've given a lot of shit on Dak. I've given him shit. A lot of people have given him crap on, performing in the big games. And he performed again in a big game, and it's really Dak's starting to really find his groove with this offense now, especially with those guys there. I just feel like he has so much more confidence, like he's got way more confidence. He's not just force feeding CD. He's just kind of playing his game. You got Jake Ferguson there too, just chilling, waiting for a target, being a security blanket. And I thought the O-line looked awesome as well. I thought Javonte was running hard, and I thought the gaps that he had, did just an all-around solid game by them. And listen, you're going to give up points to the Chiefs. It's going to happen. But yeah, Chiefs I think they're another team that they really going to start building that offense. Travis Kelce, it's time, dude. It's time. It's time to retire. It's time to go. I think Andy Reid, I have nothing against him, and I think he's one of the greatest of all time. It's hard to really scheme up when you really only have Rashee Rice, Kareem Hunt, and Xavier Worthy. They literally fucking.
So Mike, before we get into the Chiefs, because I want to stay with the Cowboys here, because we're going to dive very far in with the Chiefs, because they have a mountain to climb here. But I don't want to get too far from what you said about Dak Prescott and the way he's kind of opened up his game more. I don't think that Brian Schottenheimer's getting enough credit for what he's doing with this team. I think the way he's coaching, the way he's leading, like, let's not forget he's play calling. He's the one running this he's operating this offense at an elite level. And I think that when Dak played with Kellen Moore, and you saw this when Jalen Hurts had Kellen Moore as well. Kellen loved the big play. He loved the big play opportunity. And he was a little more creative in his offense. I think Dak thrived in that. Now, was there downsides to it? Yeah, I think at times we were a little too aggressive. Kellen loved scoring points, and at times that hurt us. And then it was a complete 180 when Mike McCarthy took over, right? He was trying to limit Dak. He's saying, let's not throw interceptions. He was making him do what Jalen Hurts is doing now, saying, well, if I don't turn the ball over, we just have to hope the defense stops him and we'll win, right? But I think Schottenheimer has kind of gelled the two of them. And, you see a lot of it happens 4 or 5 times a game. You got GP on the one side, you got CD on the other, and one of them's going deep, one of them's running a slant. And it gives Dak options, and Dak's seen the field so well where, if George Pickens is the one running the slant, 9 times out of 10, he's open on that slant. Right? He's doing what Michael Irvin used to do. I know people are going to be like, oh, you didn't watch Michael Irvin. Brother, there's YouTube and VCR tapes. Shut the fuck up. George Pickens is looking fantastic. He's unstoppable on a slant. CeeDee Lamb gets open for a 70, 60-yarder basically twice a game, and Dak hits him in stride every time. It's very hard to defend this offense right now, especially when the run game is doing so well. Comparatively to what it has been the last couple of years. So I'm very impressed with what Schottenheimer's doing. But now I do want to get into the Chiefs. I do want to get them because they got a mountain to climb, like I said. So I'm going to give you the floor here because I know you want to get into this team, the makeup. Should Andy Reid be fired? Is it time for certain players to leave? Do they have to go out and get people this coming year? What do they have to get? I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Andy Reid has anything to do with it. Mahomes has nothing to do with it. Rashee Rice has nothing to do with it. I think it's just they need more weapons. I think they need to change at running back. They were a team that I expected to go get someone elite, as a running back. Listen, I love Kareem Hunt. He's had a great career. Isaiah Pacheco, Rutgers guy, but they're missing that piece as a running back, and someone who can go out and pass catch. Mahomes likes to throw the ball, and I feel like Andy Reid still has his running backs are ground and pound north to south, and I think the game has changed a little bit where a lot of defenses are stopping that now. They're adjusting to that. But I think Travis Kelce needs to go. They got to get better weapons on offense. Xavier Worthy, what happened to him? What happened to the uses that he was getting last year? The defense, maybe a linebacker. I don't really know. It's just, they've had the same team for a long time. They just need to just get pieces. I don't think there's a bad team at all. The AFC West is getting stronger. You got to give credit to those guys. Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert's playing well. Bo Nix and that defense, they're playing extremely well. Like the change is going to happen within 3 years, and I think Kansas City, they've followed the same formula every single year, and there's a reason why, because they've been at 3 straight Super Bowls, but starting to catch up to them, and I think this is going to be a rude. I guess the rude awakening this season has been where it's you need more people. I just think you need more. You can't put all your trust in Rashee Rice. Granted, he crashed the car somewhere else and runs away from it. Like, you gotta just bring in more people. They got Noah Gray sitting there waiting to fill Travis Kelce's massive shoes, of what he's been doing his whole career with them. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing, because I still don't think they're a bad team. I think they're well coached. I think Spagnuolo is doing good enough on defense, but they just got to get better players. I think they gotta find a way to help out Mahomes as much as they can.
No, I agree with you, and it doesn't help when last year, if we really look at these two teams, Chiefs are not winning the one-score games this year. And last year they set a record. They won like 12 one-score games.
Correct.
Right? So that plays a huge part in this as well, playing close games and not winning them. The positive for Chiefs fans, the Colts look like they're on the collapse. The Buffalo Bills have questions. The Houston Texans are only a game ahead of you. The Chargers are only 2 games ahead of you. Right? They're still really in the thick of it here. And there's teams that could easily lose one here, lose one there. Now, if the Chiefs are able to rattle off a couple, we're looking at them being a 7 seed, and it's like, oh, here come the Chiefs again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's still that. They have more hope. I'll say this. The Chiefs have way more hope right now because of the way the AFC is than the Cowboys do over in the NFC. Absolutely.
We had this conversation 2 weeks ago, where it was either, the Ravens, the Chiefs, or the Dolphins to have the biggest probability or possibility to hit the playoffs. And I have to say the Chiefs. Again, it's one of those teams, I need to see it to believe it. I need to see that they are losing to then formulate my opinion later, rather than, oh, the Chiefs aren't good enough because of this, and then they just go on a streak. Listen, they won me and you money 2 years ago because of the exact situation they were in right now. Literally. Like, that is why I can't let them go, because they can turn it up at any moment.
And that's what I was going to say. If you think Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce are sitting over there, Jones, like, if you think all these guys are just sitting over there thinking like, oh, shit, this sucks, we're done. Like, no. They're sitting there just to be like, all right, we got a couple playoff games coming up. Well, you know what team in the AFC doesn't really lose playoff games? The Kansas City Chiefs. So if there's a team that I would be willing to put my money on for the next 5 weeks, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I would not be surprised to see this team not only be the 7 seed, but the 6 or 5 seed when the playoffs roll around. Because that's just how good these guys are mentally. That's just how good these guys are at preparing for games. I'm excited to see the end of the season for the Chiefs, because there's a number of teams between them and the playoff spots that it is just craziness. We're talking about the Steelers, the Texans, the Bills, the Colts, the Chargers if Herbert's not playing. Right? There's a lot of parity in there. There's a lot of chances for craziness. So, to put it lightly, I think you and I are both on the same page here. Chiefs are probably going to not surprise everyone and make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's funny because, I feel like this year in particular has been a big swing of, like, a lot of different changes with, the teams that we always saw that were good, teams that were shit that have now come out and have actually been, a contender, Houston, their defense coming out. Indianapolis, even the Jaguars. Who else? I'm not thinking of. The Chicago Bears, the Panthers. Like, there's so much change that's happening in the NFL right now, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to see this a lot. When new quarterbacks come in, their second year, their third year, new coaches. Like, there's so many things that happen, like, within the offseason that just changes everything, and it's so fun to watch. That's why this league is amazing, because no league is ever the same. Yes, have the Eagles and Chiefs repeated back-to-back Super Bowls. Yes, so be it. But there were a lot of other teams, that were in the strides to get better. The Jets, they won 3 straight. They're looking like they're getting better every single week, And listen, I'm always against, once your season is over 3 weeks in and you start rattling off wins, I don't believe in the momentum going into the next season, but they're winning games and they're playing well. And I got to tell you, if you want to get into them, I'm in.
We can do that.
Yeah, I want to talk about them a little bit because, it sucks because did they make the right choice with Fields? Probably not. It's not looking like it. Tyrod's in there. It's not like Tyrod is a Jameis Winston where he's going to be slinging the ball, give Detroit hell, almost beat them in Detroit. Like, he's just going to go out there and play the game that he's always played his whole career. Adonai Mitchell, you bring him in from the Colts. You send Sauce Gardner away, who I think has now a torn Achilles. I feel terrible for him. It sucks as a Jets fan. I hate that. I'm not going to say, we won the trade. That's just very immature. Sauce is a great player. I wish him the best. But you bring in Adonai Mitchell, who had a very bad start with them. He's the only receiver to have 100 yards last week. The only receiver in the NFL. He looks good. Breece Hall looks like his prime self. The defense is young, and they're playing well. They stop Atlanta. Bijan does well. What?
Wait,
good.
time out.
He was the only wide receiver in the NFL to have 100 yards.
He was the only receiver last week to have over 100 yards in the NFL.
CeeDee Lamb had 112.
Okay, but that's Thursday.
Jameson Williams had 144. Jamar Chase had 110.
That's on Thursday.
AJ Brown had 132.
on Sunday.
All right. Adonai Mitchell, 102. That's fair. I was lost there for a second.
Not in the NFL. Thank you for fact checking me, though. I appreciate that. But, I got to listen. The immaturities in us where it's like, I just say that because it's just funny with the Jets. We always tank it for the pick. How are we going to ruin the tank? But it's really good to see them win. It's really good to see Aaron Glenn start to figure out how to coach, how to be a head coach, how to be a leader. How Tanner Engstred, how to use his weapons on offense, bringing in Mechie, bringing in Adonai Mitchell, and having someone actually throw the ball. And that is, we've been dying for that for such a long time, where someone that can actually complete passes and not be scared to just play the game. And it's fun to watch right now. Nick Folk, he's been a Jet years ago. He was a Jet. Now he comes back, hits the game winner. It's fun to see. And again, I'm not about momentum, but next year, with these guys coming back, I think we could really compete. I really do. And I say I know it sounds stupid, but Darren Muji, I got to give him credit because he has gotten the right guys for Aaron Glenn. He's gotten the right guys for him. He's going out of his way where you're a team that was, 0-7, 1-8, and he's still making moves for next year to make sure that Aaron Glenn has the guys that he wants and that he needs. And I got to give him a lot of credit. So I'm super excited for the offseason, the draft, free agency, to see what they're really going to do and what their vision is. I think this is going to be a very telling year to see what route they're going to take. Are they going to go a quarterback this year? That's still up in the air. They're going to have, I think they have the 5th or 6th pick right now. They don't have to move it. They don't have to move at all. Why? Don't waste all that capital. If you don't believe in a guy like, Mendoza or Ty Simpson or Dante Moore, if you're not that sold on them, you don't have to move anywhere. You don't even have to take a quarterback. Go get a guy like Jameis. Go get a guy like Minshew. If you want to trade 3 first-round picks for Burrow, please be my guest. But they're not going anywhere. Glenn's not going anywhere. Angstred's not going anywhere. Mushi's not going anywhere. They're doing the right things, and them rattling off wins while trading 2 of their best players away, Sauce and Quinnen, it's good to see, and it's very fun to watch because, of course, we have no expectation, but they're getting wins, man. Adonai had a great game. He was fantastic. And Mason Taylor still hasn't even scratched his surface. Once they get that guy involved, they could be an actual, competitive team. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And the Colts in their landslide that's occurring right now, I believe you guys have the 22nd pick as well. I think they're 22nd. So you have 2 very good first-round picks going for you right now. Would be nice if you guys could get another loss or 2 in there, but I see where you're coming from. So I do want to get into the Colts, though, because this is going to be one of the funniest collapses of all time, and I'm so here for it. So they fell this week. They lost. They're now 8-4. They are slowly making their way out of the playoffs. They got the Jags, the Seahawks, the Niners, the Jags, and the Texans coming up. I mean, Mike, if they don't make the playoffs, is this the biggest collapse you've ever seen?
No, because the Mets collapsed bad last year, so no.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That was historic.
Yes. I mean, it would be a absolute dagger in the heart if they didn't somehow not make the playoffs. But I'm not there yet. I'm not, because I still believe. Let's not forget here that like Danny Jones was apparently playing with like some type of broken bone, like in his leg. It was something that like we were shocked to even see him playing on the field. But I'm not going to say that yet because JT's been getting stuffed. You know how good of a running back he is. They still got so many weapons. Shane Steichen, he's not going to lose that locker room. The defense is going to be fine. I just don't see them folding, but do I see them folding in the playoffs? I do, and I think it can happen. But Danny Dimes got to get healthy. They're going to be fine. I really think so. They have some tough matchups coming up. I do think they win against the Jags this week. I think they get back on track. After that, we'll see. But, division game, they need that. And that's a winnable game. Travis Hunter's not playing. They bring in Jacoby Myers. That's a winnable game. They can do it. And I think they will.
Don't hate on Jacoby Myers. He had a very good game this week.
He did.
Very good game. But now here's one thing I want to pose to you here. The Houston Texans are sitting at 7-5.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4-1 in the division. Their last division game is going to come against the Colts in Week 18. Right? So this is another one. Like the Kansas City Chiefs, I think they're going to backdoor their way in Week 18. I think the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud looks back to his old self. I thought Nico Collins looked really good. I thought the defense has been solid. I believe they're number one in the league right now. And, I mean, Will Anderson's a game wrecker. The guy's unreal. The Houston Texans, I mean, they're definitely not out of it, but they may be one of the sleeper teams that are getting really hot at the best moment of the season. Because if they make it into the playoffs playing like this, with that defense, with that offense, with that quarterback, with that coach, I could see them making a Super Bowl. I could see C.J. Stroud getting this team to the Super Bowl. So I am very nervous for the Colts, especially for the fans, because some of the fans didn't even realize they weren't first in the division anymore. So that was a rude awakening for I'm not going to say his name, but if I was going to say it was Alec Koski, but I'm not going to say his name. Had no idea that he wasn't in first place anymore. Felt bad for him, but yeah, I'm nervous for them. They're another one I don't think make the playoffs. I think they're going to fall out.
Like, listen, when you have a good defense like that, where Houston's number one right now, yeah, listen. It really, in all sports, it's about who gets hot at the right time. And do I think it's more towards football than it is baseball? No, I think baseball, whoever gets hot at the right time. Hockey, same thing. But that team is gelling. That defense is absolutely legit. CJ Stroud coming back looking like his old self, that is a difference. My thing is, it's that run game. If that run game can at least be average, and they're not going to put you in third and long situations, I do think they have a chance to make it far too. I really do. That listen, at the end of the day, the old saying is defense does win championships. And, you're seeing a lot of that happen this year. A lot of these defenses are really putting belt to ass on these teams, and it matters. Whereas before, it's like your defense could be playing so well, let up 28 points, and it's just going to be a shootout. Like, no, it's not happening this year. Not at all.
No, I agree with you. It's very impressive to see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last thing, and then we're going to get into the mortals. Our favorite topic every year. Now, should we end talking about Tomlin and the Steelers, or do we want to end talking about the division?
No, let's end with the division. We need to talk about everything with the Steelers.
All right, Mike, let them have it. All right, everybody, now I'm going to welcome on co-host Mike Silvestri, your most hated on the show every year. This is where, him and our Instagram absolutely explodes because Steelers fans hate this guy. And now he's going to, again, remind you why you hate him. All right, Mike, take it away.
So, listen, annually what they do, just to reiterate and make sure everyone remembers, they do go in the first, they get in the playoffs. They absolutely get dominated belt to ass in the first round. And here we go talking about Mike Tomlin that whole day at a quarterback. You're bringing Rodgers, which is like the worst person to bring in for this type of conversation because he's the guy that can get it done, but he's not getting it done. And it's like, oh my God, who do we blame now? So here we are again. I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs, depending on how that AFC North goes. What are they? 6-7 now? There's something like that. 6-7. Have we?
All right. So here's how the AFC North is lining up. Ravens are in first at 6-6. They play the Steelers, Bengals, Pats, Packers, Steelers. Steelers are 6-6 in second place. Ravens, Finns, Lions, Browns, Ravens. Bengals are 4-8. Bills, Ravens, Finns, Cards, Browns. Browns are out. 3-9.
Yeah. How many times are we going to do this now? Like, it's like talking about the Eagles every week, where it's like every single year we have this conversation about Mike Tomlin. It's just time for a change. Like, why just like last year we said it, and he is a great coach, and he should say there's not a lot of them. You're not going to find a lot of them, but was signing DK to a massive fucking bag that was that the right decision? No, it was not the right decision. Not even close. They thought he was gonna have much more upside, bro. He hasn't. He has not at all. They still have a quarterback problem. How much longer are you gonna keep Tomlin there, trying to just pull these average guys, to the next level, win some games, sell you on the hope, and then just absolutely crash in the playoffs? Like, it's just that you guys need to just switch it up for real. Like, I know he's a good coach. I know they're hard to find, but we're going on year 19? Dude, it's time, man. Listen, the Patriots did it with Belichick. Look where they're at now. They're literally the best team in the league per their record. They can do the same thing. Omar Khan, I don't know, man. Listen, you fumbled the Caleb Jones pick. We're just looking like it, but
So, Mike, here's my thing, because yes, I agree with everything you're saying, but on the flip side, right? Mike Tomlin, there's a reason why. I think it was Rex Ryan. He said that Mike Tomlin, if he got fired, get picked up in 2 seconds. Right? There's a reason why he would get picked up. It's because he's a very good coach. He gets his teams to not only be competitive, but to win. Right? Now, I'm not going to put the whole quarterback situation all on Mike Tomlin, right? Because they did go out there and try to get him a quarterback. I don't know how much say he had in that. So here's where I am going to put some of the blame on him, though, for the quarterback situation.
They did exactly what the Jets did last year. Go ahead.
Yes. Right, so Aaron Rodgers comes in. Fine. I thought Aaron Rodgers did very well the first 6 weeks. I thought he did. I thought he got them some good wins. The team looked strong, Defense is always solid in Pittsburgh. Where I thought they went wrong was, all right, we throw out Mason Rudolph. It's a shit show. I know he had a decent quarter, but it was bad. He's not good. All right, so Aaron Rodgers injured. We get to the next game. We roll out Mason Rudolph again after Aaron Rodgers goes down with a bloody nose. At what point are we going to give Will Howard a chance here? I get it. Like, maybe you guys don't think he's ready. You know what Mason Rudolph can bring you. But this is your moment where you have a national champion sitting there at third string. He's a guy who elevated the play of a bunch of guys who are dominating in the league right now at wide receiver. Why are we not giving this guy a chance? And I get it. From Steelers' perspective, the fans, they're like, all right, we're done with Tomlin. We're going 500 again. There's no guarantee that you're going to go and fire him and then bring in a coach that can make you competitive. There's no guarantee. And Mike, to your point about Belichick, yes, Belichick, Hall of Fame coach, absolutely, 100%. He's getting in first ballot. His Patriot teams, those last couple years, dude, they were like fucking last place.
Yeah.
Right? There's a big difference in those Belichick teams versus what Mike Tomlin is doing. Mike Tomlin has this team 2 places out of the playoffs. They're one hot streak away from getting into the playoffs and possibly, making some noise. Now, you and I both don't believe they will if they get in. We know what's going to happen. It'll be a first-round exit, absolute curb stomping. But he wins in the AFC North.
Absolute annihilation.
Just
sabotage belt to end.
But dude, he wins in the AFC North. So there's something to that, and there's a chance that AFC North could sneak 2 teams in, but I don't know. I don't think we should fire him, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to lead them anywhere.
This
if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, follow, subscribe, back to the show.
This season was an anomaly, though. You know why? The Bengals were done with Burrow. He was hurt. He was out. The Ravens had their. The Browns were the Browns. So the Steelers literally had nothing. All they had to do was just rattle off a couple of wins because they were not winning anything. The Ravens were 1-4 at one point. The Bengals were not winning anything at one point. Like they literally just had a jump start on this division because of every external factor that obviously is not in their control, and it's not in the other team's control either. But like the fact that they let them catch up, it's like I'm not going to be like, oh, but they were first in the division, they were winning games. It's like, dude, like these teams went through literally 2 quarterback injuries, and now they are in second place where the Ravens are coming back. The Bengals are now coming back with Burrow. Like, bro, this is an anomaly of a season, okay? Like, it's time. And going back to your point about Belichick and the Patriots and how bad their teams were, like, again, at least they pulled the plug on him. Like the Steelers, they're just hanging on by a thread. Mike Tomlin has probably moved on. He's the ex-girlfriend that has gone, and she's been out of the relationship for years. Like, Mike, it's time, dude. Just cut it loose. Like, no, you're gonna rebuild regardless. You don't have a quarterback. Like, dude, where's he gonna go next? How many more years does he have that he really wants to coach? Is he gonna coach for 40 more years like these old guys? Who knows that? We don't know that. How long is he gonna be with the Steelers for? Seriously, like, does he want to be there for another 20 years? Like, I just think it's time. Is this the third year in a row we've talked about this where here's the conversation we have to have, but it's nothing on Mike Tomlin. Again, I just think change is needed. I just think there needs to be some change. Like I'm really starting to think that Steelers fans are agreeing and they're seeing this. Like, dude, it's time. It's time. Like you'll have your Steelers fans who are like, oh, but Mike Tomlin this. Yeah, I get that. But the same result is happening every single year. This is literally the fourth year now where they've made the playoffs, lost in the first round. Made the playoffs, lost in the first round. It's time, dude. If you want to keep making the playoffs, losing the first round, great, do it. Why not? If you make the second round, fantastic. You lose, fantastic. You make the Super Bowl, okay, I'm an asshole. Suck. But it's just time.
I agree with you. Like at some point, you just got to cut the cord,
Yeah. That's all I got on that.
All right, well, let's get into our mortal locks. Mike, you had a good week. No, you didn't. Nope, none of us did. We sucked. We just calling a spade. We were absolutely horrible. It couldn't have gone worse for us. So, with that being said, Mike, you want the first pick?
I do want the first pick.
Take it.
So, Detroit sold on me last week. I was nervous about him. I went 2 for 1. We got screwed. The over-smacked in the Jets-Atlanta game, that was an absolute stamp. I actually had a very good week outside of Detroit. I think I'm sitting right now at like 8 wins and 2 losses in my spread. But, of course, for the show, we need to put out winners. So I got a weird one this week. I actually have 2 weird ones, and I'm actually going 2-4 again. I'm going to take the Raiders with the spread here. I'm going to take plus 7.5. They've been playing pretty well, but like it's kind of gotten unnoticed. I just think that defense, especially with the Broncos, because they're a team that have been not leading, I think, going into the fourth and winning these games. It's a division game. It's in Vegas. I'm going to take the plus 7.5. I do like Pete Carroll to at least just try to keep it close. And listen, they're coming off a bye. They could be shaken up, They might not be ready. And I love the Broncos, but I'll take the points and I'll take the dog there.
I like that. So we spoke about this with the New York Jets. They won 3 in a row. They're hot. At the end of the day, it's the same old freaking Jets. I'm taking the Dolphins -2.5. It's the smart play. It's the right play. Give me some of that Tua magic. Jets lose this week.
I'm not expecting to take that. Wow. But good reasoning.
Over under.
I'm going to stay in that game. I'm going to stay in the Denver game. I'm going to take the under in that game. It is going to be 40.5. Division game again, going to be close. I'm going to take the dog there. I'm going to take the under. I hate being in the same game, but it's just catching my eye. I think it's going to be very low scoring. I don't think there's going to be fireworks. I think it's going to be a very nitty-gritty game, run game. Go with the under, 40.5.
I like that. I mean, Denver's offense hasn't been, freaking awesome. So I'm going to go with New Orleans and Tampa Bay this week. I like the over 42.5 there. I think New Orleans, something about them just kind of excites me now. The last couple of weeks, I know they suck, but they're a little frisky down there. They're eating their gumbo. They're getting their jumbo shrimps all cooked up, getting that steam boil. It's something's happening down there. I like what Kellen Moore's cooking up. I'm taking the over 42.5. I think Tampa Bay scores about 30, and New Orleans can get us to like 10. So I'm excited for this one for over 42.5.
All right, money line pick. Did you win last week with the money line?
I think so, right?
Didn't I? I'll give you the first pick. I feel like I've always been picking them. I want to give you.
I don't think you're going to take mine, but I'm taking the Jaguars money line.
Oh, damn it, Muller. Come on.
Was that actually yours?
No, it was the Colts, and I don't want to. That's not good for business. It's not good for business, dude. Let me change.
Well, do you feel confident on the Colts? Like super confident?
No, you had the first pick. I'm changing. We're gonna stick with.
I'll change.
Oh, no.
Mike, but you got to understand, like, if you actually think that the Colts are going to win, mine is a spite bet because I think it would be hilarious if the Colts got knocked out of the playoffs.
No. You take the Jags. We're going to roll with it. It is for the parlay. I do think the Colts come back and they do win.
I have other spite bets I could take. Do you want to put the Colts in? We could put the Colts in.
I want this to be put in my hands. I don't want to be the reason for this. This happened too many times.
All right, fine. I'm changing my pick to the Colts then.
All right. So Muller takes the Colts.
Taking the Colts.
All right. Just
if this loses, it's your fault though.
Yeah. So now you just really screwed me on that too, and I don't even have anything else up. So I'm gonna say, give me. Let me think. Hold on. There is a team out there that I want to win. Give me Detroit. We're going back to Detroit.
All right. Not that. I see what you did there. Do you want the Colts? I'll switch it. Do you want to take the Colts?
Oh, now you want to backtrack?
No, because
give me the Colts.
You want the Colts?
I want the Colts.
Okay, then I'm taking Dallas.
Oh, the great minds think alike. We're either going to go 2-0 in this, or we're going to go 2. I don't.
There's a part of me that really hopes this hits.
Yeah, this would be great. Because we would essentially fade ourselves. You'd fade yourself. I'd fade myself. So
both of us hate both the picks we just made.
Yes, and you know what? This never really happens to us. So the fact that it has. What is it, week 13, and we've gone this far without it happening?
Yeah.
And you know what? Pat on the back. Because we did so well leading up to now. All
right. Well, I really like the parlay. So, that's the show this week, guys. Mortal Locks are locked in. We went through a lot. We got week 14 coming up. A lot of good games. I think we put a post about this out this morning. You got a sick Thursday night game. You got an awesome Monday night game. You got I think it's 4 or 5 1 p.m. games, a 4 o'clock game on Sunday that just have serious playoff implications. So it's going to be another awesome week in the NFL. I'm sure everyone's bets are going to hit because why wouldn't they? There's no parity in the NFL. So before you leave, though, we need you to go hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Go throw a comment down there. Just toss one in. You know what I mean, Mike?
Yeah. Toss one in. Stir up the pot. Why not?
Absolutely.
What do you got to lose?
Exactly. But with that, we're out of here. Go Cowboys.
Go Jets. Get the win.